More news for State of Decay 2 Update 21. First thing you want to know is that the devs have not given us an exact release date for when the update's going to land. They said they might give us one next week, but one can assume it's going to come out sometime in early October, has been the pattern. So, what is the new news about Update 21? Well, they revealed the contents of the Open Range Pack, which is a new Bounty Broker expansion, and then they also showed a new feature in the options menu that allows you to hide backpack, which we will talk about later on in the video. So let's talk about the Open Range Pack. This is a Wild Wild West themed item expansion. It's going to have clothing, guns, melee weapons, and also a new disposable weapon. So let's get started with the clothing. As you might expect, there are cowboy hats. What would be a Wild Wild West thing without cowboy hats? Well, we got them. You can also get a Western short sleeve shirt. You can get the oilskin jacket. You can get a suede Sherpa vest and a ranch hand jacket, and that's going to do it for the clothing in this Bounty Broker update. Now let's move right into the guns, and let me tell you, there's actually quite a few guns to go through, so let's begin with the Renegato 45 caliber revolver. And well, it's in the name. It's a 45 caliber revolver with a 6-round capacity. It can take a muzzle attachment, which means probably a break, probably not a silencer, since none of the revolvers take silencers except for the very distinctive ones with a built-in silencer. Keep in mind that revolvers are immune to durability loss, so you never have to repair them, and they never break down. Next, let's move right into a brand new breed of weapons, the Mare's Leg. What this is a 44 caliber lever action pistol with a 10-round capacity, and while there are several types of lever action weapons they're adding into the game, it's worth noting that all lever action weapons are exempt from durability loss, just like the revolvers, so they never take damage from usage and they never need to be repaired. They'll never break down. But unlike the revolver, the Mare's Leg lever action pistol has a mod slot that can accept brakes and silencers. Next up, they showed the Model 1875 Scarifo, which is a 44 caliber revolver with a 6-round capacity, and it will accept a muzzle attachment, and it's a fairly unremarkable weapon, very similar to other revolvers we have, but it does have a brother weapon, the Model 1875 four-leggy Furil Leg. This weapon, it's the same thing. It's a 44 caliber revolver with a 6-round capacity, also accepts a muzzle attachment. They're very, very similar to each other. It's essentially a variant of the Scarifo, and the way Undead Labs is handling these very similar weapons is one of them is going to be a Bounty Broker exclusive, and then the other one is going to be a World Loot exclusive. So one of them you can only get through looting, the other one you can only get through doing the Bounty Broker. Next, we saw the Model 1887 shotgun and its brother, the sawed-off Model 1887 shotgun. These are lever-action shotguns with a 5-shell capacity, and I do know which one is a loot and a Bounty Broker exclusive in this case. The Model 1887 shotgun is the loot exclusive, and the sawed-off Model 1887 shotgun is the Bounty Broker exclusive. Very similar weapons. They will both accept muzzle attachments, which in the case of a shotgun means just a choke, but otherwise, as I said, very similar to each other. Then they showed us the Model 92 rifle and its brother, the scoped Model 92 rifle. These are 44 caliber lever action rifles with 12-round capacities. They will accept either brakes or silencers, and I do know which is which in this case. The Model 92 rifle is the Bounty Broker exclusive, while the scoped Model 92 rifle is the Loot exclusive. Now, the scoped Model 92 is vastly superior here because it has a very good long-range scope that makes the weapon pinpoint accurate, and once again, lever action, so exempt from durability damage. Next up, we've got the Big Hank rifle and its brother, the scoped Big Hank rifle. These are 35 caliber lever action rifles with a 10-round capacity. They both accept brakes and silencers, and the Big Hank rifle is the loot exclusive, while the scoped Big Hank rifle is the Bounty Broker exclusive. And once again, the scoped Big Hank is just way, way better than the regular Big Hank because it has a very powerful long-range scope that makes the weapon pinpoint accurate. And finally, the last gun on the list is the Duvall Outrider. It is a 5.56mm lever-action rifle with a 7-round capacity. It also features a very nice long-range, high-precision scope and will accept brakes and silencers for its muzzle attachment. Plenty of long-range weapons here, so going to be great for people who want to dispense justice from afar. Alright then, let's move into the melee weapon, starting with the fencing tool. This is a blades weapon, and it looks like it's going to be halfway decent, with pretty good lethality, durability, and ease of use. Looks like it'll be comparable to your other kinds of like heavy-duty blade weapons, like the high-angle rescue hatchet, your rebar blade, and whatnot, so looks pretty good. Next up, you've got the branding iron. This is the blunt category weapon, and I would say it overall is kind of meh. It's not terrible, but it's not great. The stats are just on the below average side, so you could collect one for just collection's sake, but I probably wouldn't recommend using it. Then we got the Big Daddy Skillet. This is a blunt-styled heavy weapon, meaning it focuses on impact and knockdown rather than dismemberment and lethality. And the main thing I can say about this weapon is that the offensive stats are a bit low, but the ease of use is not too bad. So if you want a heavy weapon that doesn't tire you out quite as rapidly, this might not be too bad, but I'll need to test it to be sure. And the final melee weapon is the Bowie Knife, which is a close combat weapon. All close combat weapons are purely cosmetic because they don't have stats, so, you know, pick it if you like the look of it. And the final weapon is the Bundle of Dynamite, which is actually a disposable weapon. This is a long fused explosive that also has a distraction mechanic attached to it, and distractions work differently on the green zone and the standard zone than they do on the dread and nightmare zone. And the way this weapon works is you throw the dynamite out and it takes a few seconds longer to explode compared to something like a pipe bomb or a hand grenade, but what you get in return is that the explosion is way bigger, and on top of that, while the fuse is burning and you're waiting for it to explode, it creates a distraction. And here's how distractions work depending on the difficulty. On green and standard zone, all regular zombies and variants of regular zombies, so like plague zombies and armored zombies, they must investigate and stare at distractions even if they're in the middle of attacking a living character. So you, your allies, neutral AI, or even hostile AI, if they hear a distraction, they drop what they're doing and they go to stare at it. Keep in mind that freak zombies are too smart for this. They will not get distracted on any difficulty, and if we bump the difficulty up to Dread Zone or Nightmare Zone, then the regular zombies get smart too, and they will not be distracted by the dynamite if they are currently attacking a living human. And that means that there is a way to get around this on any zombie of any difficulty, freak zombie or regular zombie, is if you throw out a distraction, or in this case, the dynamite, from stealth, then the zombies will come to investigate it because they just hear a sound and they're attracted to the sound, and since they don't know you're there, they will just watch the dynamite and get blown up even on the nightmare zone, so that's how you can play around this. On the other hand, keep in mind that the dynamite is super loud, so after it explodes, it's going to attract a bunch of additional attention that was definitely not blown up by the dynamite. The last thing to know about the dynamite is the way you get it. Unlike getting a mod where you can construct this, you actually buy the dynamite bundles from the bounty broker individually for 150 influence each. So they're going to be a bit expensive, and I don't know if they're going to be worth it. I will have to investigate, but my initial prediction is that they're probably not going to be worth it, except for maybe derping around if you just like blowing stuff up. And finally, let's wrap things up with the ability to hide your backpack, which can be found in the options menu when Update 21 comes out. What this will do is make your backpack disappear, as well as any weapons that are attached to the backpack, but it's purely cosmetic. You still have the statistical effects of the backpack, and your weapons are all still there. When you pull out the weapon, it'll just kind of appear out of nowhere in your hand, so it's just purely cosmetic for the people who think that the backpack is like obstructing the appearance of their character and they just wish it wasn't there, but they still want all of the stats. So, yeah, that's a new feature that you will have access to. And at any rate, that's it. That's all the news for now on Update 21. You let me know what you think down in the comment section. What do you think about the open range pack? You got clothing, you've got the new lever action weapons that are immune to durability damage. What do you think about those? You've got some new melee weapons, you've got the new Dynamite. Is that something you're going to invest heavily into? They are 150 influence each with no way to produce them in your home base. Is that something that you're going to invest heavily in, or just going to experiment in? Maybe you're not interested at all. Let me know down in the comment section. And lastly, are you going to be hiding the backpacks on your characters? Let me know. So, at any rate, subscribe for future State of Decay 2 content like this video. If it was interesting, share it to keep your friends in the loop. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.